Space is back with another Monad update for you guys. Monad right now having a bit of a bounce. That's great to see. Like I said, the strength on Monad compared to other altcoins is something you can't deny, right? Even when the market was completely, when the market has been completely in the gutter, Monad has had moves to the upside. Even if they get sold off, it shows the strength, right? It's just the macro conditions. It's really holding the price down, right? Like a beach ball underwater, right? Now, as I said in my previous videos, there's no guarantees that, this year will be bullish, right? Because again, there's a lot of people that do TA that think, this year will be a bear market, and then we'll see lows for the bear market in around October 2026. Sometime later this year in Q4 2026, we'll see the end of the bear market. That's when Bitcoin will find its low, and then we have massive names, people that run the biggest centralized exchange in the crypto space. A lot of people have conspiracy theories that he controls the crypto space, right? That CZ Changpeng Zhao, CZ Binance is that CZ Binance, I showed you guys in a video, he thinks that 2026 will be a super cycle for Bitcoin this year. So who is in the right? I don't know, but I'm just going to hedge my bets, right? I'm going to have some exposure to the market, and I'm going to have my portfolio in just some Bitcoin, maybe some Ethereum, and a whole lot of cash, right? Not a whole lot, but a decent amount, because, if Monad drops to under 1 cent, and I got like 4K to toss in the Monad under 1 cent, if we enter a bear market, that's going to be a great buy, man. 400K Monad, just like that, that's going to be a great buy. So we'll see how it plays out. And if Monad does go to the upside, well, guess what? I got exposure to Monad if it does go to the upside from here, right? And this is why I say, obviously, a lot of people are, don't think my $1 target is possible for Monad. I still think that's very possible, even above $1, right? But just to be extremely conservative, just for Monad to get to $1, I think is very possible. But even if, right, we don't see that $1 target and we see 20 cents to 50 cents per Monad, and you have 100,000 Monad, which is at right this time frame right now, 100,000 Monad, right, is around $2,000, just under $2,000, right? And you have 100,000 Monad, we see a move to 20 cents to 50 cents. That's going to be $20,000 to $50,000, right? I think that's a great investment, right? Some people in crypto would tell you that's not any money to make, but I think that is a great, that's to me, that's a lot of money, man. Because once you have 20 to 50K in your portfolio, you swap a good amount of that to stable coins, USDC, Tether, etc. Now you could reinvest that for another opportunity, right? That's how I see it. When I see money like that, anything that is 5 figures, right? Anything that's 5 figures, it's another way to another goal for me to get to 6 figures, right? Because a lot of people don't make money in this market, right? I feel like 90% of people aren't making money in the market. So in my opinion, I have a saying for myself personally: some exposure is better than no exposure, right? Sometimes it's good to just buy just a little bit of a coin that has strength than to not buy any at all, because you're trying to make money, right? So if that coin is going up, it's not up too much where you're FOMOing in and you're like, dang, this is showing strength, let me buy some, right? And then it keeps going up, boom, you just made some money, right? And that's how I see it, man. You make gains accordingly. You build your portfolio out. Say you get that 20 to 50K, and then all of a sudden now you could reinvest it into, another altcoin, another, a project on the Monad ecosystem, an altcoin in the Monad ecosystem. That goes 10 to 50x. You take out half of the 20 to 50K, you put 5 to 10K in a project in the Monad ecosystem, that goes 10x. Boom, you just got 6 figures, right? I mean, that's how I see it, man. That's what I did in 2024. I got profits in a coin here, took some profits, left in the moon bag, rotate, and then just did that for 2024, and I did extremely well doing that. 2025 kind of really messed up my portfolio, I'll be honest, right? But because I didn't take profits as best as I could have, I'm not perfect, right? I don't, shout out to the people that did get those big gains and did the right thing to secure their profits the right way, right? I'm not perfect, so I didn't secure my profits as best as I could have, but I still did okay, right? For me, for my financial standard, right? So that's how I see it, man. That's how you do it. You compound those gains, guys. In my opinion, you get one successful trade, there's always going to be another investment, another trade, another investment. You leave some profits in, leave that moon bag in, or you take profits according to what you feel happy with, to then pay yourself, withdraw some to your account, treat yourself, pay off a debt, etc., and then take some of the other bit of profits to reinvest into another project, right? That's how I see it, man. So Monad right now, again, having a bit of a bounce here. That's great to see. We take a look at, let's see, Mon on X real quick. Just quick glimpse of what X community is saying. Breaking news: category XYZ has started the first Mon token buy. Okay, so that's why we're seeing a bit of a bounce here. So remember in my previous video I said Category Labs, which is a parent company for Monad, is going to do a $30 million buyback. Apparently they have started that Monad buyback, right? Which is very nice to see. This is the Mon setup I was talking about earlier from a technical perspective, from clinics. Just this light line coins I don't fundamentally like. But as you can see, starting to break above, those previous resistance levels. Will it continue on? I would think that would be the case, man. So let's see what happens, right? How MFers act with Mon is finally up 6% after a 60% drawdown. Hey, a bounce in the market is better than no bounce at all. There's 90%, 99% of altcoins that aren't bouncing right now. So a bounce from Monad, in my opinion, is a great sign, right? As always, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. None of this is financial advice. Really appreciate all the support. Truly, thank you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.